لكاذبون لا تقم فيه أبدا لمسجد أسس على التقوى من أول يوم.
No, the thing I couldn't fix was I couldn't diagnose that it was the pressure switch that was causing me the trouble the whole time. And I called my buddy over, and he does that shit for a living, working on wells. And he had it figured out in 30 minutes. You know, and I just put a new pressure switch on it. And the whole thing turned all back on. I didn't realize that because of the freezing and the snow and the shit, that it caused the pressure switch to freeze and then lock. And then when it locked, it corroded. Hey, life's a bitch in a G-string. You either fuck her at the bar or you fuck her at the house. Either way, you're paying that bitch.
I finally heard you say you didn't know some shit. Yeah. All these years I've been talking to you. You finally came out your mouth and said, damn, I didn't know. Damn. That's it. All right. Edmund, come on up, buddy. Edmund.
Yeah.
He's supposed to go for a run to get rid of his cow.
Yeah, stop kicking Kate out. What? Stop kicking Kate out.
Please.
So, you don't want my politics. This is that fucking psycho-ass loser from Maryland.
Who you talking about, Jonathan?
I'm talking, thing is that, so I have a layer of reality that's beyond politics. Okay. Do you want it?
Nope.
No.
Then don't have it. So, politics is, so what if I told you politics is evil versus evil, and you can only choose Satan?
Am I allowed to pee on them both?
I guess you could, but that's what politics is. It's Satan versus Satan, and you don't have a choice of good. You only have a choice of evil versus evil. And that's why they put it into a duality system. So duality is primitive. Quantum is better. I'm on quantum.
You do need to act differently based on that. If you're
I'm that motherfucker that'll pee in your Cheerios until you fucking milk. That's what I'm on.
Where are you based, Don?
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People Talking About Nothing.
The third rock song.
I think that.
So you're kind of creepy looking. Where in America do you live?
Why, you want to come date me?
I'm not a faggot, but are you can say like the Northeast, the Southwest, Texas, just any, even
everybody knows exactly where I live. I tell people exactly where I live.
But I'm not everybody, and so I don't know, so that's not a factual statement.
Well, if you don't know, then you don't know.
Okay, so let's turn around and say, if you know, you know. I don't care where you live. Anyway, the bottom line is that, Trump is doing things to America that, Trump is the Antichrist, and he's going to destroy the world.
No, the Antichrist is described as people believe that he is God. I don't think that any Republican MAGA thinks that Trump is God. You Democrat leftists think that we think that he's God, but that's just you delusional because you don't know what God is.
Can I tell you what he'll do? What he'll do is he'll come out with the mark of the beast, which I thought was the vaccine, but maybe not the vaccine. What it'll be is he already said he's going to set up a central bank cryptocurrency reserve. He's going to set up a microchip. He invested $100 million.
Is this your burner contactor, Sasha?
So he's going to set up a whole thing where you have to buy or sell the microchipped central bank digital currency, via him, so he becomes the Antichrist. Because in the Bible, in Revelation, it says you'll only be able to buy or sell via the Antichrist.
You have three.
Wow. Jerry, hilarious.
They got 4 rooms going.
No, I said, wow. That's an hell of a correlation. That's fucked. Yeah, but add it up, bitch.
Pepe's taking Clown House by storm.
Bro, you're the one over there projecting with.
Why don't you change your PTR to Pepe
like
and change your name to Pepe?
Like Baby Shark in the background.
But see, here's the thing, because I'm such a tech genius,
Who cares if you don't go by Sasha? It's
a lawyer.
It's pointless.
So I could actually create my entire.
Wow, really?
I could create. See, I could be the Antichrist too, because I could create my entire.
Oh, I can.
So, do you want Trump as the Antichrist?
Hello? Hello?
Nobody thinks Trump is Jesus, dude.
Hello?
You want Trump as the Antichrist, or do you want me?
Dude, the Antichrist people will think is Jesus. You dumb fuck.
Which one do you want?
You just stop drinking alcohol because you make me look sober.
You made me look.
Before you were talking about haplogroup A. You were talking about pygmy trois. They have a haplogroup B.
To the phylogenetic tree, it's like A00, then you go all the way down to BT, and then BT splits into B and C.
My own opinion is, it may actually turn out good. I don't think, if you look at it in a general sense. By the way, do you consider yourself white, Pippi? Because if that's your picture, I'm 100%.
Oh man, the title's aligning with the room now, Dr. Sasha. She called him Pippi.
Let's finish your point.
She asked me a question if I consider myself.
And you answered it. Go ahead.
So
No, I didn't answer it. I didn't answer it. I asked her the question back. Do I consider myself white? And that
you
was
said you're European.
Europeans, just like Asians and Africans, we vary wildly from each other.
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
my
American.
answer.
I know that. I don't think I'm the one you want to educate on that. I know I'm not American. Anyway, what I was going to say in general, as someone who has spent more than 2 decades in America, I think if people look at this in a different perspective, this may actually be good. If we're focusing on merit, you see a lot of immigrants accomplish things. They come from like you said, the peasant class, just like some Europeans come from the peasant class as well. I'm talking from Romania, Czech Republic, even Russia. When they start thriving and when your jobs continue to get offshored, why do you complain then? It seems to me that you don't want merit. But then again, if your plan is to segregate, it may actually work out better for those who are merit-based to gather and build what they can build in their own countries or wherever else, because your protectionism obviously never benefits anyone. The world trades with one another because there is so much more beneficial opportunities there. We're not arguing for merit. We know the undertone and whatever it is that you're arguing for. No one is arguing for merit here. You're obviously tired of competing in the world stage. Your ass is getting handed over to you when it comes to education and qualification and a lot of things. And they're killing your ass in AI and everything else and cars and innovation right now. Even if they're still in it, it doesn't matter. That's world competition. That's what the world is. That's what you've done. But just stop being crybabies when people start, really following merit truly. It just seems like you're just, crybabies, and you want things to go back to when you're only considered. A lot of you don't even want women to speak.
You just crybabies.
You complaining too, though. I don't understand. You complaining about the complainers, complainer. You nothing but a complainer, miss.
Oh, I love it when black people tell me whether or not I qualify as white. You know, like my whole life, I lived in Arizona, but there's a bunch of Mexicans. I don't get confused.
No, you're clearly white, Pepe. No one's questioning.
Yeah, so which is it's ridiculous.
Get a white trophy.
I know it's just stupid. But okay, here it is.
So funny.
But what's really
This is what Paul's talking about, right?
But here's what's funny is if I started talking about yellow, you know, high yellows, red bones, blacks, charcoals, you know, all of this, you guys say, oh my God, that's racist because I'm so colorist. But you guys are doing this to me, which is it's really.
There's an awesome conversation. This is a great conversation.
And that was the point that I was making earlier.
Hold on, but she addressed a bunch of things towards me. The thing is though is that when it comes.
Not about you,
I know, but she addressed me. I'm not saying the show's about me. I said she addressed me, and so she
addressed you because you need a Q-tip, nigga. And change that PTR. You look zesty.
Shut the
Amazing.
fuck up, whoever said that. Go ahead, Pepe.
Yeah, so love you too. Now, okay, you're such a fucking moron. But okay, so now we get brain drain immigrants from many countries. Okay, and then we do, and there's a reason I pointed out like the Southeast Asians in particular. These were people that got asylum. They were literally part of the peasant class in Southeast Asia that ended up doing better than us. And when it comes to meritocracy, that's not what I'm bitching about. But I would say that, like, when I hear people like this last woman, Miss, it's just like, okay, well, you guys have your countries where and of course, she's always going to have a double standard, where if they're people of European heritage that founded these countries, or they're indigenous to the countries, such as the countries in Europe, that somehow they should be welcoming of everybody, and they should be willing to be demographically replaced and compete with everybody and so forth. But whether you're anywhere in the political spectrum, there's no racial group that is going to be okay with like them being demographically replaced. Like, this is where the hypocrisy really sets in. You guys don't want...
Because you said demographically replaced. What are you concerned about? Being demographically replaced by short-feeted people versus big-feeted people? People who have long hair versus short hair?
Racially and ethnically.
Okay, so let me ask one quick question. Why are you more concerned with racially, like, white versus black rather than rich versus poor? Like, which one impacts your life more? Like, why wouldn't you be more concerned about the segregation and delta between rich and poor versus black and white?
Sure. So I think feeble-minded people will focus on the rich versus poor. But what's happening is that, okay, especially if you look at the people that are largely in power, there's a reason why they mainly want us to focus on race. They don't want us to focus on rich versus poor,
So
which
why
is
do you
where
focus on race?
I will concede to your argument. However, they're more than willing. They're more than aware that the diversity that mass immigration brings sows the chaos that ends up absolutely dissolving any social cohesion that exists in any given nation.
I don't disagree, but I reiterate the question. Why do you focus on race?
And I mean, sure, but the thing is, though, you have to focus on. Hold on a second. There's a reason you have to focus on both. Like, even 4 years ago, when it comes to, and these are the leaked emails with Jeff Bezos when he was trying to union bust, he said, like, no, we need to continue to further have more diversity, because the lack of cohesion it will create is, you know, they won't be able to form a fucking union. When it comes to the wealthy, they weaponize a lot of basic shit, such as like, hey, look, a lot of us, we identify with our community. We don't hate each other. I don't hate black people. I don't hate any group of people. But they are going to weaponize. They are when it comes to sowing division, in order for them to stay in power, okay, and make more profit, they're going to weaponize it. Because
perfect. So you're a troll of the Reds and you're propagating their division. This was
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, so regarding what he's talking about, I actually do not have a double standard. I agree with you in some aspect. No one wants to be replaced. Okay, let's just be freaking objective here. No one wants to be replaced by another ethnic.
Did you say something, Dr. Sasha?
Land. But it just sounds like that's what you're doing. You have.
I know, it's really
you're American. You have replaced the Native Americans in this land.
Well, do you not understand that I produce a show called Low IQ Dumb People that talk about nothing and waste their time?
No, I know.
Let me finish. You are doing exactly what you're bitching about every day. Like I said, you're just crybabies. You're doing exactly what you're bitching about. I don't want to be replaced in my own native land.
You're smarter than this.
And this is not, America is not my native land, so I don't give a shit, about the shit that you're fighting for. But what I'm talking about is you're crying about the same thing that you have actually done and you continue to do and support others.
That I've done?
You're also supporting Russia invading Ukraine. Look,
I don't support that. I'm pro-Ukraine. I support Ukraine. What are you talking about?
You're not making any logical sense at all.
I am making perfect logical sense. That's what you said.
She didn't overtalk you not once. Why do you keep overtalking her, bro? She didn't overtalk you not once. Why do you keep coming off the mic?
Because he's a crybaby.
He's a crybaby. Let her talk. She be quiet while you were talking, and you want to talk the whole damn time.
I love your English.
I don't give a fuck. She be quiet. She was quiet. You're loud. So let her talk. Let her get her point across.
She got her point across.
She couldn't have because you keep interrupting her.
Okay, you're being a hood rat. Amazing.
No, I guess so. You are too by interrupting people. So I guess we're both being hood rats right now.
Hold on. This is Talking Apes. Women don't need a big mic, miss. Please go ahead and finish and no one interrupt her, please.
Just to conclude, it's just quite interesting. I do agree and I do sympathize with you. If you feel like you're being replaced, no one wants to be replaced. And I'm not even being sarcastic here. But it's just quite interesting when it comes to your own situation. You said some of these people came from whatever,
Sasha, this room will go for hours. This is how automated stupidity
I'm
works.
100% sure. I don't know you.
Run for your life, Dr. Sasha. I'm heading to the gym.
Slums as well. And you have taken over someone's land. And here you are, bitching and crying about.
Sasha, go read your kids a book. Be a fucking man. What's wrong with you? Get the fuck out of here while you can. I'm heading to the gym. Go read your kids a book. Tell them you love them. Live your best life now, Dr. Sasha.
You still own the banks. You still own the money. You still own the land. How come you're
Run
crying over
for your life, Dr. Sasha. They'll never stop.
Merits? Are you afraid of competing on an actual world stage?
They will go for hours
That's why you're
and hours and hours. Run, Dr. Sasha. Run while you still can.
Racial people and giving them a couple of lands in off remote places, and here you are bitching over a bunch of immigrants surviving just the same way they're surviving everywhere else, the same way your ass survived in America too. That's funny.
Okay, so I'll respond to that. So first of all, the Native Americans were obviously here first. The person with my last name who came here in 1605, they happen to be French.
Welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing, wasting time.
I fucking knew it. Yeah, amazing. So, came in 1605. 14 years before the first Black American
slave. Okay, I'm headed to the gym, Dr. Sasha. I hope they don't kick me so you don't get, so your live stream doesn't get interrupted.
It's like, the 1619 project is false now?
Yeah, it's not false.
Okay, no, here's Abraham, dude, will you shut the fuck up?
سيقولون الله فقل أفلا تتقون فذلكم الله ربكم الحق فماذا بعد الحق.
Hello?
What's up, bro?
So I got a Pepe. I got 4 or 5 Pepe rooms open. We got Dr. Sasha in there. We were just live streaming Dr. Pepe.
I thought you just closed the rooms. This the Diego I was thinking y'all niggas was talking about the whole time. This is man.
actually Nuraho.
That's the weird nigga from Chicago.
Yeah. That's the one. I'm headed to the gym to fight the gout in my foot from all the Miller High Life I drink with orange juice and weed I smoke.
All that uric acid.
Yeah, that uric acid builds up, and then my pee-pee.
Doc used to watch. Yeah, Doc used to watch his live. Or
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God. And when the
Well, he does take care of his gout, but just, he overindulges on the alcohol, which
YouTube video and watch it at some point. I really enjoy that.
Well, it's uric acid, like mercury and nitrogen.
About Schopenhauer.
Yeah, bro. If you have poor circulation, that's a problem with like probably half of America.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
You know the number one cure for diabetes is exercise, right?
Mm-hmm. Depression too.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
just do 17,000.
AKA John Kitover, is a fat, lazy fucking playing a space drum naked, playing yoga fucking shit on Instagram, like, video casting himself on OnlyFans, and yeah, he doesn't exercise as much as he does drink alcohol. And yeah, that's me calling you out, John. Go to the gym.
That's
I've
okay.
been on this out for the longest, and I just found out what the fuck music mode was.
What?
Okay.
You never put
Do you guys want me to leave you as my base default for my live stream, or do you want me to go to the Dr. Pepe room?
I'm fucking leaving.
I don't want you to leave doing anything other than...
No, that was Dr.
leave.
Sasha.
Get the fuck out.
Dr. Sasha left.
Yeah. No. You could just...
They tired of dancing,
On reflection both on practical, so you can imagine how funny this is actually.
It literally is walking me. It's running and I'm trying to match its speed.
That'll go well.
You need to assert dominance.
This is a lady.
It doesn't matter.
Assert dominance.
Yeah.
This is a lady.
You need to assert dominance.
Melee, slow down.
Is this like a Tom Jones song or something?
Melee, stop.
She is my lady.
Oh, good God. You know the little foo-foo dogs that gay men have? This is one.
You know, did any of you, have you ever,
It's not really the dog. It's a dog leg.
have any of you ever seen Yael's Twitter account, X account? I was amazed. She's got a huge following.
Really?
Yeah, Michael Bronstein
she
showed it
write
to me. A lot of like Muslim Islamic terrorism awareness stuff. It's fucking crazy shit.
That's wonderful. Well, she's wicked smart.
Yeah, she's
not
smart.
really
Yeah.
on, so I don't see anything.
She knows a lot of things, I think, because of that account. Because like she follows a lot of shit, I guess. But anyways, just bringing it up if you've never seen it.
I don't even know what is their account name.
I couldn't tell you. I can't remember. But
well, useless then.
I know.
Totally useless.
I agree.
But if you
see her, just ask.
She's on X.
It's on X. If you talk to her, yeah. Because what's his face here? This fucking F word guy. He knows Yael. He knows her X account.
Oh, you know Yael?
Yeah, Hiva Brunger, whatever the fuck his name is, Macro or whatever the fuck his name is.
Macro? Oh, I don't know any macros.
That was his old account's name.
Oh my God, it's going to be so nice this week. I think I'm going to take the roof off the Jeep. I can't wait. That sounds awesome.
In terms of the United States.
In what aspect?
Well, so in what aspect? So like, I think it's like evil. You don't want to give the equal opportunity to the poor and the least advantaged people. You want them
or white or blacks.
Poor. I said poor.
It seems to me that these people who claim that Democrats are socialists, that's actually what they are creating right now. They are creating a socialist community, If they are true capitalists, this is not the route to capitalism. This is absolutely socialist. We're totally going China, Russia route at this point. That's where we're headed.
I don't think capitalism is contrary to socialism. Do you feel that those are contrary things, Miss?
No. But what I'm talking about is they're not about, because they're cutting out any opportunity for competition. They are cutting out any opportunity for competition. And it's now, so the government is basically controlling everything. That's what they're trying to do. There's no room for real competition and real talent.
Sure. So you're kind of touching on the same point as me, is that like when it comes to the government, and I by the way, I don't like libertarians. I for a lot of reasons, but when it comes to I'm against communism. I'm somebody who thinks I'm against socialism for the most part, but we can look at like SOCDEM countries, like in Scandinavia, where, everybody I know that's been there, I've never been there. They say like you don't see homeless people. People are around there taken care of. They have a robust safety net. That is fine in my book. I'm not even necessarily against high taxes, which is like a boogeyman for somebody who's in the Republican Party. I'm somebody who thinks that, like, okay, when it comes to those that are in need, that need the most help, I'm absolutely for helping them. I think like children that grow up in economically disadvantaged situations, we want to try to help at least level the playing field so that they can have the same opportunities as other kids. To me, that I don't know, but I guess somehow this makes me a fucking Nazi. I don't get it.
I don't think you're qualified as a Nazi.
If I could for a second. The 1619 Project only emphasized a certain specific time dealing with the British Empire and the British government, but there were so-called black people coming in. There were the Blackamoors that came in the 1500s. There was also the Portuguese who were bringing in East Africans from Zanzibar that brought them into America and settled them in North Carolina. They were indentured servants, and they were to build the Portuguese ports and the Portuguese settlement or colonies at that time. And that was in the 1400s, late 1400s. So, and also you have the reclassification of indigenous people here who were dark skinned, but in order to take their land, the United States government would come in and they would reclassify them as mulattoes or freedmen, basically saying that they were black and therefore they could take their land. This went on all the way up to a gentleman by the name of Walter Plecker, who also continued that in the 1950s of reclassifying dark indigenous people as Negro or
Amazing.
But again, here's the thing. This is where the nuance is, right? Either it's rich or poor, or it's race, right? And I guess, Pepe, the point I was trying to make is that I actually think that you do understand that the biggest threat is not racial, right? And so when you come in here and you focus on race, my question to you is it because you're trying to say, hey, there are poor white people out there as well? And when I hear black people talk about
Jerry, I want to cut you off because that's the perfect segue, and I've been waiting to talk for so long. This is like, because everything that I had prescribed for, like, particularly the Black American community that he had kind of like for food, right, would have doubly benefited the white community entirely. Like, he talked about how the Hmong were able to come over here and they were able to like prosper after one generation without citing the fact that refugees and people who come over here in the refugee status get subsidized quite heavily. Their lifestyle, the housing, all of that stuff, so that their generations can actually be prosperous American citizens. And all he did was cite the negative media publicity that was given to Asian people at the time, just generally like all gang statuses, because it was the war on crime, and the Hmong had formed a gang. But they were refugee status from Vietnam, if anyone was unfamiliar. And so it's like, I don't know. I really don't know, because everything that would benefit immigrant and black statuses and people of color would literally doubly benefit the white people who are impoverished. And so I'm just trying to figure out, like, What's your deal? Okay, I'm done. I've been waiting. I've been sitting on that.
Here's what I'm doing. I think that this is going to come off as very racist.
Pepe, if you thought for a moment that I didn't think that you were already racist, you see what I'm saying? Everyone already knows that you're racist, bro. Just be you.
At least give him respect. Hold on. At least give him respect for starting saying, "Hey, what I'm about to say is super racist." Like, at least that's
I'm trying to, in other words.
Go ahead, Pepe. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like.
Your name alone says it all. So I don't think anybody cares.
That make it better, Jeremy?
Hey, no, but maybe like
come on,
Jeremy. Better than Berkeley said.
Hey, may I speak after the last person? Because I'm about to let y'all have it. My bad. I'm done. But that's crazy that he said that and everybody already knew. But they like, here's the deal. I don't.
Okay, David. Who is this is going to speak? Because I didn't even get to say what I was going to say.
Oh, this is Ryan gonna speak, but go ahead and speak.
His white privilege accent is coming through. Go ahead.
Yo, it's crazy. Did you hear him? Oh my fucking God! Here's the deal.
But it was my turn to go, and then all of a sudden somebody wanted to give their opinion before you.
It definitely was your turn.
You know what? I'm gonna let Ryan. Say
80% of the time on stage, and minorities get 10%. Listen to this.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna let. I'm gonna go ahead.
Thank you for clarifying it, Jeremy.
Ryan, go ahead, go. I'm gonna listen to you. I think what you're gonna say is so unlikely.
Now he's giving it to you, Ryan. No, Pepe, you go, buddy. We don't want you to get. He doesn't.
No, it's okay, David. He granted you the privilege to speak, so go ahead.
Nah, I don't have anything to say. I'm just.
No, we're just talking about it. Go ahead.
Nah, I don't. Go ahead.
It's fine, Master Pepe. Go ahead. I'm trying so hard, Pepe. You have to admit I've been good so far, but I'm trying. I've been
Sure. So we can look at. I probably have a lot different belief system than you guys, but I think most of us are going to agree that whether you're white, black, it doesn't matter what your race or ethnicity is. There's a distribution. Some of us are smart, some of us aren't. Now, when we get from certain countries, when it comes to, we can look at Nigerians, we can look at certain groups of people, we tend to, the hurdles are set to a point to where you would basically have to be the more intelligent and industrious of those people. And they're going to far surpass Americans. But Jesus, I don't remember. He threw me off. Like,
let me ask you a question, Pepe.
Okay,
all right.
What's the question?
If Americans are an amalgamation of generations after generations of immigrants, right? And the original Americans are not replicating enough to be that population. What are you talking about? America is designed to be replaced by immigrants. That's how it's designed. Legal immigration is the number one way that this population has been able to flourish ever since they abolished slavery. That's been we replace slaves with low labor immigrants. So, you're afraid that more of America would continue? No, it's a thing that Europeans created and now they're afraid of, and all you're doing is projecting that onto us. Europeans created an immigrant nation, and now the immigrants that were populated by the European nations are afraid that they're going to be replaced by immigrants. Do you hear yourself right now? This is a problem that y'all completely created, and all of us are just sitting back and watching y'all live with it. You're the one that's fucking complaining and trauma dumping on everybody because you're afraid to lose this ill-gotten nation that you've got. So completely fucking miss us with that shit, bro.
So we all know peregrine falcons fly 240 miles per hour, and when it kills its prey, it shoots them in the head.
Amazing. So if we look at,
that's the fastest bird. That's the fastest animal in the world.
So if we were to look at, so to answer the man's questions, so right after the Revolutionary War, our first Congress and our first act of Congress, Immigration Act in Congress, in 1790. You can look this up, 1790 Immigration Act. It explicitly uses the terms free white men of good moral character. Now, this existed pretty much entirely up until 1965, throughout the majority of our nation's history. When I say majority, literally, the majority of our history.
Documents. Let me just tell you. Let me ask you something.
Hold on a second.
No, hold on. Let me ask you something relevant.
I didn't finish my point.
I know, but you were dragging it on, man. Come on. Let me ask you something relevant.
Oh my God, you're such a
every free black man. I know. You're good.
No, you had to sit there and go on fucking Chat GPT to find something to fucking calculate because you're fucking.
I've been having these conversations
right now is crying right now. Your white fragility.
No, I've literally been having these conversations for years.
Pepe, I know you have, and we all love the size of the rooms you're in. But I'm asking a question. I'm not making a statement like you. I'm asking a question. Do you think that the promise that the U.S. government made to every single freed black slave that they would receive 40 acres and a mule, I might be off there. Do you think that contractual obligation that they did not follow through on?
Jeremy,
every single descendant of
stop. Jeremy,
I will
stop.
No,
Jeremy, stop. You're wrong.
Jeremy,
okay, so first of all, there's Sherman's order. Sherman's field order number 52. Reparations were given to people. They were given land that was in South Carolina, North Carolina, in that area. And when President Lincoln was assassinated and President Andrew Johnson took his place, the order was rescinded. Reparations were given, and then they were given back to the slave owners as subsidies for the losses of the Civil War. So that's why I had to stop you, Jeremy, because what you were doing, you was walking into a trap. Anyone who knows American history knows that was a fucking trap. So forgive me.
And there was no contract.
That was solid. Like, we have to give him some respect for that. That was fucking solid.
So in 1790, we did have Chinese railroad workers. We had the Chinese Exclusion Act, which kind of stopped that. Now, even when it comes to white people, Europeans, a lot of our immigration in the 1800s and 1900s, they were people coming from Southern and Eastern Europe. I forget, it was like 1922, 1924. That's when they instituted the national quota, where basically they favored Western Europeans and were taking in fewer numbers of Eastern and Southern Europeans.
Yes, and Italians weren't white, and Irish people weren't white, and everyone hated the fucking people that weren't them. Pepe, we all know that. Why do you focus on race?
Because they weren't white. It wasn't because they weren't white. When people make this but the picture I'm painting, this is where you guys are all getting lost.
Pepe, you're lost. Pepe, the thing that you're lost on is the fact.
No, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
I was in the middle of speaking. Hold on a second.
The Magna Carta is the thing that outlined who had rights in the United States. The rights that were outlined in the United States were given to British people. I'm helping you right now. All right. I'm really trying to move this conversation along. And so when it came to the British people honoring the Magna Carta, even after the colonies fell, they still honored that because most of our colonial charters and original governments were built off of the Magna Carta. That was the ideology that permeated. You needed to be from a particular European group, a particular European country in order for it to facilitate.
What's happening in this?
When it comes to the founding of this country, so you had said that we were built off of a nation of immigrants. And so the reality is that when it comes to our nation, throughout literally, if you look through the timeline, the bulk majority of our country, the nation of immigrant argument, it is of people that are of European heritage. When it comes to, even when the 1965 Immigration Act, the Hart-Celler Act, ended up passing, it was overwhelmingly disapproved of. And the promise was that It would not demographically change America, which was obviously full of shit. The country's history, the founding, yeah, it was based off of immigration, but I'm just going to say this is where America is racist. We wanted to be a white country. There's no doubt about it. There's no point in time.
Hey, hold up. Say that again.
Our country's founding was literally white supremacist. And when it comes to even late in our history, 1965 is late.
Is that what he said the first time?
Okay, they wanted to remain.
He didn't say that the first time. He said that we want this to be a white country.
Yeah, that's what you said. Say that part again.
Yeah.
But no one is surprised, though.
Our founders were white supremecists, like, absolutely. I mean, you can't deny that.
Yeah, it was, I mean, he's right. Dr. King and the civil rights movement were the ones that changed the meter on who got accepted to this country. They forced LBJ into expanding the idea of what it is to be a U.S. citizen.
It wasn't Dr. Martin Luther King. It was literally fucking Jewish organizations were the ones that were primarily pushing this.
No, that's false. It was Jewish organizations that did. You're absolutely right. But remember, LBJ says to Dr. King, hey, why don't you stave off supporting the Immigration Act of 1965? Stave off. And let's wait till the 1980s. And Dr. King reiterated himself, as he said before, a justice denied is a justice delayed about the issue. He wanted to expand it to African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants and to Asians. That's what Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement wanted, and they got that.
So in other words, you're basically agreeing that white people in the United States that were the overwhelming majority did not vote for us. They did not vote for us becoming a multicultural society that would let in floods of immigrants that are ethnically and racially different than us.
Remember, LBJ said...
Okay, so in other words, so your claim would then be that black people somehow... used their lever of power to allow non-white immigration to the United States.
Let's not talk history.
Okay. This is his claim. He agreed with it. So I'm just going to let it go there.
Why do you have such a hard on for black people? Why do you have such a hard on for black people?
Because let's admit that I'm not going to say.
I don't think it's black people that did it, but he's claiming black people did it.
Pepe, can I just ask you one quick question? What do you think is better for America? Like diversity and inclusion and or do you think that the white only thing of your founders is better? What do you think is best for America? I'm genuinely curious.
Okay, sure. I think that there's a level of diversity that is needed, but the overwhelming majority has to be of a particular ethnic group. And I would not say that is the same with whites. I would say that is literally the same with every ethnic and racial group in the world. I don't hold the double standard.
So Pepe,
can you translate that?
Can I tell you something? No, let me level with Pepe. Pepe, you're not talking to just like some random person. Like I'm a former Marine. I absolutely love my country. Like, and so let me absolutely level with you. When the United States was created, they created a new motherfucking ethnic group based on an ideology that was going to spread capitalism through democracy. All right? I'm afflicted by it. You're afflicted by it. Every fucking American is afflicted by it, be it the holidays that we celebrate, be it the jobs that we perpetuate because we're trying to reach this higher level because of this meritocracy that you keep boasting about. Okay, like it's the ideology that's being permeated throughout the world that has people wanting to cross 10,000 miles to come to these borders, to be rejected, to come back, to be rejected, to come back. Like,